How much time should a CEO that's launching a venture business spend fundraising?
When you're not actually in the process, it should be 5% or less of your time should be going to investors. Yeah, yeah. Because, I mean, ultimately, again, part one, which is like having the metrics that are the leading indicators of a North Star that can be hit, is P0. And so 95% of your time should be on that. And then 5% is like nurturing those 5 relationships that will get the fundraise done. Um, that should just be true. Like, I think there's this like extremely bad advice that you should be always meeting investors. Like, you should not do any of that. Like, you should spend 95% of your time on the metrics that matter, and then 5 on the 5 investors who are the best fit for your company. When you're in the fundraising process, then you spend 100% of your time on fundraising and delegate running the business to someone else. For me, that was Shreyas, but you have to delegate that. Like, someone else has to become CEO. And so I literally sent an email to the company saying, Shreyas is now the CEO for this amount of time. Because you want to make sure people think of that person as like their point of ultimate escalation in any situation. Because P0 for the full-time CEO is fundraising, and so they cannot get distracted by the ongoing operations of the business.
That's interesting. So when you're in fundraising mode, it's like that's all you're doing every day.
That's all I'm doing. I'm literally not. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 things that maybe Shreyas brought up to me, saying like, "Hey man, I need your input on this." But outside of that, I intentionally don't get involved.
And what does that look like? That's just you meeting with investors, going through diligence, like
Yeah. Because it's like the whole thing is like condensed, and so like literally 100% of your time is spent fundraising.
how long did that process take for, let's just say, Series A, Series B, or seed Series A, Series B?
It's always been less than 4 weeks. So like our seed round we did in 2 parts. The first one was, it took no time because I had a pre-existing relationship with the partner at Greylock. The second one took 4 weeks. Our Series A took 3 weeks, and then our Series B took 10 days. Yeah. But each time it was like 100% occupied. Like 100% of my time was occupied with the process. So like these sound short, but they were like extraordinarily intense.
Yeah, and stressful, a lot of pressure. Who preempts the decision to, say, hey, we need to go out and raise another $45 million?
So I had brought it up to our board at the end of our Q4, so like in Feb, saying, hey, in the next 6 months, we should go out and fundraise. And so that's when the prep starts. So it's like, what's the story? How do we want to present the company? That sort of stuff. And then I did like what was supposed to be like internal updates or practice pitches with insiders. And we ended up getting like a preemptive offer, basically, from one of the insiders. And that triggered the process faster than I was expecting or hoping for, candidly. And so then we just like spent 2 days to prep all the rest of the materials that we needed to, and then like run a fast process over the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
This is like new for me, I think, just being a bootstrap founder. It's like, what's the calculus behind A, the amount of money you're going to raise, and B, how you deploy it?
Yeah. So I was saying that the agency and the enterprise motion, agency and enterprise motion were the 2 that were growing very quickly. So there are different economics happening at the same time inside of the Fermàt entity. So our core mid-market motion had a certain unit economic model that was starting to work at like high efficiency from a sales and marketing perspective. But of course, the newer ones are low efficiency. So the enterprise and the agency ones are low efficiency by definition, right? Because those are like still getting figured out before they get into a good unit economics. And so there's a set of things you want to invest into from a go-to-market standpoint, so that way you can like get through the J curve on the new motions. At the same time, from a product investment standpoint, for most product companies, through the Series B, your net margin is like very negative because the amount you have to spend on building the product is so large compared to how much of it you can sell. So until your sales team becomes large enough that you're selling a lot of it and then it dwarfs the cost of the engineering that's gone into the product, you're basically in the J curve, right? Um, and so that's basically how you come up with the math for how much you want to raise in the B. It's like, okay, with this amount of capital, I can get through the J curve on all of the things that I want to execute on. And if I want to, I don't have to raise again. It's like the way that most people think about it. Now, of course, you want to be in a position where you have other new ideas that again need to go through the J curve. And so again, you raise more money, right? Like that's the best outcome, is that the incremental dollar being invested can be put to good use. And so like, even though you can build a business that doesn't require more capital, the best outcome is you actually build more new stuff and you require even more investment. Yeah, yeah.